I think it's fair enough to say that all of us, we love a New York chopped cheese sandwich. Well, tonight I'm gonna show you not only how to make a chopped cheese sandwich, but this chopped cheese sandwich is gonna be, we're gonna amp things up. I'm not gonna say a bit, but a whole lot. Yes, we are gonna introduce our meat to the pan. This is about 2 to 2.5 pounds of ground turkey. Yep. We're gonna start off with the ground turkey. Now here's the thing. If you don't trust the ground turkey process, then you can definitely use ground beef, of course. But like I said, just keep watching, okay? Trust me on this one. When I tell you you're not gonna be able to know the difference in what you're eating, believe me when I tell you. All right, we're gonna continue to cook the turkey until it's all cooked through. About 3 to 5 minutes, we should be in business. The difference with the ground beef, now it all depends on the percentage of fat, right? You're gonna have that excess oil that remains in the pan. However, when it comes down to the turkey, and I wanna say it also depends on the brand. You may have like some excess water, right? Instead of oil, because turkey is a lot leaner. Nevertheless, it's one or two things. You can leave the water in there to continue to hydrate the ground turkey, or you can just allow the water to cook off. Okay, just allow it to continue cooking until the water dries out of the pan. If you want to dab some of the water out with a paper towel, you definitely could do that as well. As you can see, turkey is perfectly cooked all the way through. So I'm gonna go in with our aromatics. Gonna add some shallots, because the shallots are gonna work just the same as adding Vidalia onions, simply because they're sweet as well, and they're not as pungent. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like onions, so that's one of the tips that I would recommend, is to give shallots a try and see whether or not if you prefer it more so than the actual yellow or white onion. Toss it around, perfect. Let's go ahead with our finely chopped garlic. All right, toss the garlic around, make sure everything is perfectly distributed. And once you start to smell that garlic, it's time to season. All right, turn the stove top down so you maintain control. Salt and pepper goes in. Don't add too much because you can always taste it and add additional salt if necessary. We're gonna add some garlic powder, of course. Even though we added the finely chopped garlic, the garlic powder tastes different from the finely chopped garlic. It has a different taste. Let's add some chicken bouillon because this is turkey. However, if you're going to be using beef, you're going to use beef bouillon. All right, let's get those flavors rocking. Stir it on up really, really good. Make sure the seasoning is perfectly broken down. All right, you don't want to taste a clump of seasoning. Add some smoked paprika for that smoky element of flavor. And it's also going to enhance the color as well. Gonna add some of my all-purpose cooking with Tammy chicken seasoning. All right, low sodium, so I'm gonna add a good amount. Gonna give it a good stir once again. If you don't have certain seasonings, you're gonna season it to your preference using what seasonings you have. Let's go in with some Worcestershire sauce. A couple tablespoons is gonna get the party started. All right, the complexity of the Worcestershire sauce is going to work perfect with the ground beef, because not the ground beef but the ground turkey as well, simply because it's savory, sweet, and salty. As you can see, the color of the ground turkey is changing, right? Starting to look like ground beef, not to mention it's starting to smell like ground beef. I want an element of spice. I'm going to add some adobo sauce minus the chipotle peppers, just the sauce. To bring it home even more, let's add some browning sauce. All right, and the browning sauce, of course, is gonna do what? Change the color. Yes. Stir it on up really good. We added a few ingredients, so therefore we want to make sure everything is perfectly incorporated. I want you to call anybody in the kitchen and ask them, what is this? And if they don't say ground beef, I don't know what's wrong with them. Because I know if you call me into the kitchen, I'm not even gonna have to look twice. I'm gonna automatically think that you're making ground beef. Honestly. All right, now that that's done, continue to lower that flame. All right, we have some American sliced cheese. We're gonna place it in there. Make sure to get the cover for your pan ready. If you don't have a cover, you can always use aluminum foil to cover it down. Because right now the goal is to melt the cheese by locking in the steam within the pan. You know what? First, let's just do this. I want to melt the cheese. Yeah, because I want this to be super cheesy. The meat is obviously super hot, so it's gonna melt really, really quickly. We're gonna add top layers of cheese to the top of the ground beef. I keep saying ground beef. Myself, I'm tricked. And I'm the one making the stuff, right? It's crazy. It looks just like ground beef. We're gonna add a small amount of water around the perimeter to create that steamy effect once we close it on down. All right, and that's gonna help the cheese to melt beautifully. Voila, gorgeous. This is, woo! All right, in the meanwhile, right, we're gonna cut into our bread. The best knife to use for cutting into your bread is the serrated knife. The one with those little rigid edges. It makes the job so much easier. This is a large serrated knife, obviously because I'm cutting into a large size bread. So it's gonna make it a lot easier than using a smaller knife. And it also goes by the name of bread knife, okay? Serrated or bread knife. The other thing that we're gonna do is show you a quick and cool tip, trick, whatever you wanna call it. We have lettuce, right? And your girl wants shredded lettuce. So what are we gonna do? That same serrated knife, really thin. We're gonna shred it really thinly. Instead of paying for the convenience of the lettuce being shredded, if you have the correct knife, why not do it yourself, right? We're gonna slice our tomatoes really thinly. Make sure you wash all of your veggies. To our bread, we're gonna add a ton of mayo because we do love mayo. However, if you don't love mayo, skip out on that part. We're gonna take the back of our knife. If you have, like, let's say a wooden spoon, you could use the wooden spoon as well to spread the mayo onto the bread. At this point, it's whatever works. Our chopped cheese meat looks amazing. Make sure to get more than enough on there. Let's add some lettuce. Add as much or as little bit of lettuce, is totally up to you. And our tomatoes. All right, it's about time for us to cut into our masterpiece. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut in the middle, of course. And I'm gonna cut it right here towards the end. And we're gonna cut it once more towards the top. And it's time for a taste test. Yay! Let's see. Woo-wee. This is something else. When I tell you, my goodness, you can't even tell that it's not ground beef. And I gotta be honest, it kind of tastes better than ground beef, and I'm not just saying that. Oh yeah, this actually tastes better than ground beef. The texture is not hard, coarse, rough, tough, whatever you want to call ground turkey. It's soft and melt in your mouth. Absolutely delicious, for real, for real. Give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think. If you need seasonings, cookingwithtammy.shop. Full recipe details in the description bar below. And that's about it, my loves. Wait till I distribute the sandwich. It's going to be going in 2 seconds. Not to mention, I got another bread right here. Plus, I have more meat. We're about to have a party. Anyway, my loves, talk to you later. Bye, guys.